When this white cat was found on the street, its gait was unusually awkward. Under its matted fur, each step it took appeared somewhat difficult. The rescuer promptly took it to the hospital, where the vet first examined its oral cavity and overall condition. Preliminary checks showed that the cat's physical state needed more attention than expected. Its two front paws showed an unusual curvature, which the vet noted was not typical of ordinary malnutrition. The vet noted this might be related to past injuries that had healed without proper treatment. This condition made normal walking difficult. It relied mainly on its front limb joints for support. Although surgical correction was an option under consideration, the cat's current physical condition required stabilization first. Given the treatment costs involved, the rescuer decided to prioritize its overall health and recovery first. Before a specific correction plan could be finalized, the cat's condition changed and required closer attention. It experienced vomiting, diarrhea, and a fever, and was placed under intensive veterinary care. Because its condition needed close monitoring, the doctor kept the rescuer informed of its status over a short period. During this time, it wore a protective collar and rested quietly in its enclosure. The medical team began a series of tests to identify the cause and determine the best course of treatment. Based on the clinical presentation, the vet considered the possibility of feline infectious peritonitis, FIP, and proceeded with further evaluation. The infusion pump operated continuously, delivering medication gradually to support its recovery. Late at night, the rescuer would gently offer comfort through the cage bars, hoping it would feel supported. Even with targeted treatment, it remained tired and needed rest. After several days of treatment, it rested for extended periods and had a reduced appetite. Every day during this period was an important step in its recovery. Everyone hoped for its improvement. Soon after admission, its condition required increased care, and it had limited energy. The vet used a protective collar as a standard precaution during treatment. The steady monitoring readings reflected its ongoing condition. It was going through a difficult but closely managed period. That time, it rested quietly, and its breathing was being closely monitored. Continuous IV therapy over several days supported its recovery process. Throughout the veterinary updates, the little one continued to show quiet determination. During the extended observation period, it spent most of its time resting as it recovered. Its body was still weak, so it rested in a low position rather than sitting upright. Each night, the rescuer stayed hopeful while monitoring its progress closely. Good news finally came. It began trying to sit up, and its eyes showed renewed alertness. As its condition stabilized, it could finally rest peacefully. Its vital signs gradually improved, and it moved past the most critical phase. Its mental state markedly improved, and it started to respond to its surroundings. This calm rest marked a meaningful turning point in its recovery. After half a month of dedicated care, it finally met the criteria for discharge. Back in a safe environment, we noticed that its walking posture was still somewhat distinctive. Now it could finally feel the warmth of a human palm, no longer a stray without care. It was remarkable that this resilient cat had recovered from feline panleukopenia and gastroenteritis. This recovery would not have been possible without the quiet support of every kind-hearted person. Although the condition in its front paws would still require follow-up evaluation, as long as it lives, there is hope. The vet assessed that the leg condition could potentially be addressed through surgery in the future. However, the surgery cost of up to 6,000 yuan was a considerable consideration given the current rescue funds. Considering the financial factors and its weak constitution, the surgery was postponed for now to prioritize more urgent health needs. Despite the many challenges in the rescue process, the rescuer said that having taken it in, they would see it through to the end. At this stage, it was still recovering, spending most of its time resting quietly on its pad. The rescuer also hoped that more people would follow its progress and witness the change in this little life. As for the cause of its leg condition, the vet could not determine whether it was congenital or developed afterward. Regardless of the cause, the physical challenges and mobility difficulties it experienced were real. Top priority now was to regulate its basal metabolism, to support possible future treatment. Apart from the leg condition, when it was first rescued, it also had skin issues and stomatitis. Long-term stray life and malnutrition had also caused some degree of liver and kidney strain. Additionally, during a hospital follow-up, it contracted feline panleukopenia. Then complications such as FIP, gastroenteritis, and bronchopneumonia followed one after another. Given its condition, it returned to intensive care for round-the-clock medical observation. Due to these health developments, the originally planned leg surgery had to be postponed. As the treatment period lengthened, some viewers asked, based on visual details, whether this was still the same cat initially rescued. The rescuer explained that the apparent difference around the chin was a visual effect caused by video blur and matted fur. The change in back fur color was due to the newly grown fur being lighter after shaving, a normal recovery phenomenon. After a period of careful nursing, it moved past the most difficult phase and began to eat on its own. Watching it slowly regain vitality in the sunlight, the long recovery process finally showed encouraging progress. After a period of attentive care, its mental state improved markedly, and new fur began to grow back. Could finally eat peacefully with its companions in the sunshine, with steady access to meals. Although the leg condition made its gait a little unsteady, that did not dampen its curiosity to explore the new environment. This resilient little life now loved to curl up in a soft blanket on warm afternoons and sleep soundly. As its body recovered, it revealed its playful nature, starting to bat at the spring toy in front of it. This focused and agile response was good evidence of its improved physical function and reflexes. The world outside the window was still wonderful, but now it had a home that sheltered it from wind and rain, with companions by its side. Being able to use the litter box independently and normally meant that its digestive and excretory systems had recovered well. Watching it yawn lazily by the windowsill, it was hard to imagine that it had needed intensive care not long ago. Sunlight fell on its gradually whitening fur. This moment of peace was the very scene all the rescuers had hoped to see. It was no longer the cautious stray from before, but a confident member of this warm big family. The uncertainty once in its eyes had been replaced by security and trust in humans. Even with some mobility limitations, it still practiced scratching and jumping, actively adapting to daily life as a pet. In group life, it not only learned social skills but also gained more security from its fellow felines. When tired, it would lie down anywhere. This unguarded relaxation showed it had truly come to regard this place as home. Faced with human closeness, it no longer shrank back but gently squinted its eyes, enjoying this affection. It made an effort to climb up high to survey the room, exploring this safe territory in its own way. Although the posture of its hind legs was still distinctive, it had learned to live happily with this difference. Every interaction and chase with companions gently supported its emotional recovery from its time outdoors. From a difficult start to a new life, its resilience tells us that every life deserves to be treated gently. Now it had integrated into group life, though its leg condition still made its gait distinctive. This peaceful state was the result of its tenacious vitality following a period of dedicated veterinary care. During the 4 months of treatment, it not only recovered from organ strain but also managed various complications. Even when it unexpectedly contracted feline panleukopenia during a follow-up exam, this little one again pulled through with resilience. Finally recovered, it could now fall asleep peacefully in a warm corner, enjoying its second chance at life.